Right in the heart of one of America's most elite campuses, a diplomatic firestorm ignites. Yale University at ground zero for free speech, protest, and now a flashpoint in the global war of narratives. Far-right Israeli Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir, a man banned from most Western capitals, walks into Yale and into the fury of a student uprising. Water bottles fly, tempers explode, accusations of fascism, anti-Semitism, and state violence erupt across the Ivy League courtyard. And then, amid the chaos, Ben-Gvir turns to the camera and drops a quote that shocks the world. But that's just the beginning, because back in Florida at Mar-a-Lago, another bombshell is brewing. This is the story of how one man's U.S. tour became an international crisis spanning protests, politics, and a call for war. Far-right Israeli National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir. His visit to the United States this week has reignited controversy following his appearance at Yale University on the night of April 22nd. His presence on campus became a flashpoint for widespread protests and heightened tensions, underscoring deep divisions over Israeli policy and its political leadership amid the ongoing Gaza conflict. Invited by Shabtai, a prominent Jewish society advocating free speech, Ben-Gvir delivered a speech centered on Holocaust remembrance. However, his presence sparked fierce opposition from pro-Palestinian students and activists ahead of the far-right Israeli minister's speech. About 200 protesters erected an encampment with tents in Beinecke, a plaza marking the one-year anniversary of similar protests. The group Yallies for Palestine played a central role in organizing demonstrations. Although Yale revoked its registered student group status for violating campus conduct policies, as Ben-Gvir exited the event, hundreds of pro-Palestinian demonstrators hurled water bottles and other objects at him and his entourage. Video footage captured Ben-Gvir responding defiantly with a victory sign, while one of his aides waved an Israeli flag as tensions rose outside the venue. According to media outlet Jewish News Syndicate, Ben-Gvir addressed demonstrators, declaring in front of the pro-Palestinian demonstrators at Yale University who support the Nazis in Gaza, "We will win," and Yisrael Chai. The invitation to Ben-Gvir fractured the Jewish community at Yale. At least 3 members resigned from Shabtai in protest of the decision to host him, citing his extremist rhetoric and past convictions. Meanwhile, Jewish students reported harassment and assaults during the protests. Meanwhile, Ben-Gvir condemned the protesters as anti-Semitic rioters and vowed to continue his mission in the U.S. Undeterred, following the unrest, Yale University announced discipline or action against a student organization believed to have helped coordinate the protest. The group, identified as pro-Palestinian in affiliation, was stripped of its campus recognition due to violations of university conduct, policies and actions that allegedly endangered other students. The protest highlighted deep divisions on campus and in broader American society over Israel's policies and the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Earlier, Ben-Gvir also met with senior Republican leaders, attributed incendiary statements to them about Gaza, and faced mounting legal scrutiny back in Israel that on April 22nd, Ben-Gvir attended a private gathering at U.S. President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida, where he reportedly met with senior Republican figures, including House Majority Whip Tom Emmer. According to Ben-Gvir's office, the Israeli minister discussed the ongoing conflict in Gaza and his uncompromising approach to securing the release of Israeli hostages held by Hamas. In a statement issued to the media following the meeting, Ben-Gvir claimed that the Republican leaders express support for his hardline tactics, specifically the bombing of food and aid depots in Gaza to increase pressure on Hamas. "I had the honor and privilege of meeting with senior members of the Republican Party at Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. They expressed support for my very clear position on how to act in Gaza and that the food and aid depots should be bombed in order to create military and political pressure to bring our hostages home safely. This claim has not been confirmed by the U.S. attendees and congressmen. Emma's office declined to comment. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump was not at the event according to his public schedule. Ben-Gvir. His post did not specify which Republicans were in attendance. However, Ben-Gvir's office told Israeli media that Republican Congressman Tom Emmer, considered to be the third highest-ranking member of the U.S. House of Representatives, was among the lawmakers present. The congressman has been one of the leading voices in the U.S. Congress supporting Israel amid the war in Gaza and has regularly said that Hamas and not Israel was to blame for the high rate of civilian deaths in the Palestinian enclave. Ben-Gvir has been one of the leading voices in Israel calling for the escalation of Israel's assault on Gaza. A resident of an illegal Israeli settlement in the occupied West Bank, Ben-Gvir also called for the resettlement of Gaza and glowingly endorsed Trump's plan to forcibly displace residents of the Palestinian enclave. Ben-Gvir had earlier resigned from the government of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in January 2025 in opposition to a temporary ceasefire deal before rejoining the government in March 2025. He called for Israel to cut off electricity and water and to bomb aid depots in Gaza, as a 6-week pause in fighting reached its end. Meanwhile, Ben-Gvir's remarks have drawn swift international criticism as the humanitarian crisis in Gaza continues to escalate. France, Germany, and the United Kingdom condemned on April 22 the ongoing Israeli blocking of aid, food, and medicine entering Gaza, calling the actions intolerable, all while Ben-Gvir has been making headlines in the U.S. Legal challenges have intensified at home. On April 24th, Israel's Supreme Court ordered him to respond within 6 days to petitions from Israeli human rights organizations demanding his removal from office. The petitioners accuse Ben-Gvir of unlawfully interfering in police operations, a charge he vigorously denies. The legal and political storm comes amid growing international scrutiny of Israel's actions in Gaza, including moves by the International Criminal Court and the International Court of Justice. Ben-Gvir is meetings with senior U.S. Republicans, and his controversial rhetoric further amplified tensions, raising questions about Israel's internal governance and its ties with Washington.